Hello my good people, how are you guys doing over there? Yes, so this is Archibald, and you're otherwise aka Mr. Niger baby. Guys, today's the 25th of December 2022. I decided to make this video because I just want to shock you guys actually, and I want to give you guys a good reason to actually use your critical thinking. These guys, they came with religion to Africa. You remember many years back, centuries back, they came to Africa with religion. And you know what? The funniest thing is that when the Europeans came with Christianity, it wasn't for our own good in any way, because they ended up enslaving our own forefathers. Because they said Christianity is a religion of love, isn't it? But they ended up enslaving our parents, torturing our parents, killing our people, doing away with all our religion, all our indigenous religion, doing away with our own very foundation, our very ways of life, our own tradition. They did away with all these things. They enslaved our people, they changed their names, they tortured them. And most of those castles you find in Africa, most of those castles, above, on a beautiful Sunday, you see them having seminars and, preaching and singing together and singing hymns. But at the bottom, at the dungeon, were the slaves. People were being enslaved. People were being punished. People were being starved, deprived of water, ordinary water. People were being whipped, being abused sexually and physically. But right above those castles you find in Africa, they were having a nice time singing hymns and praising these same gods. And today we have decided to embrace this very religion without even thinking about it. But they, in the other way, are doing the opposite. They are slowly giving up on the religion, because they believe that the religion is not that of love. It's a religion of chaos, of anarchy, of division, of redundancy. It's not a religion of progress. You know what I mean? Yeah, what I mean by that is that if you go to a typical church today, you only find 70 to 80 years old men and women in a church. All the young boys and girls, they don't go to church. They don't go to church. Now my question is why? Or like in Africa, where when you go to churches, you see young men, women, all over the place, on a beautiful Sunday, you see them, going up and down, well dressed, looking kinky. So my question is, what is going on in Europe? It's not only in Finland, Sweden, UK, everywhere, churches are shutting down. Most of the churches are being converted into warehouse and, art galleries and all this kind of stuff. So what is going on? Why has the Western world suddenly, changed, flipped over from what they used to be, a Christian nation, to a kind of liberal nation where people are free to believe in whatever they want to believe in, to do whatever they want to do, and those kind of stuff. But in Africa, it's the opposite. Now, the irony is that with all those churches shutting down, you can see they are slowly diverting into a modern kind of concept, technology, AI, or like in Africa where most of the businesses are shutting down and the churches are all, are springing up every corner. It's like mushroom. Every corner you go, you see churches springing up. Now my big question is that what is going on? And with all these churches that we have in Africa, you don't really see much progress. Most of the youths are unemployed. Most of the businesses are shut down. Crime everywhere and there, division, confusion, people being misled, kidnapping and infighting and all this kind of stuff. What I see is the opposite. Now my question is that what is going on in Africa? Why did the Europeans actually bring Christianity to Africans? For me, Christianity is like a burden. So these guys back in Europe, it was during the Dark Ages, they were fighting each other, killing each other, over religion. And it got to a point where like, hey, this is enough. We can't keep killing ourselves all in the name of, Christianity. So they decided to, to form the Council of Nicaea. I don't know if you guys are aware of it. Back in Rome, where they all sat down and say, hey guys, this is enough. We can't keep killing ourselves because of doctrines and beliefs and all this kind of stuff. They had to sit down and decided to trash out some of those doctrines that they see worthless. They decided to go through the Bible and decided to take some portions out of the Bible, like literally, like this portion is making us fight. Okay, what do we do? Can't we just trash it out? So that is how they took many portions of the Bible away, many write-ups and all this kind of stuff. And they finally came up with a universal one. And today they're in peace. So they actually carried religion as a heavy burden and brought it all the way to Africans. Dump it in Africa. And instead of religion building us up, making us better people, making our environment a paradise, it's actually the opposite. It's more of hell. The churches, you see them, they don't unite. They are divided. They're fighting each other. The clergymen, the men of God, they are fighting each other. Everyone is scrambling for followers, because with followers come money. Money has become the next god in Africa. I don't know what's going on, because the Indians were being colonized by the British. But if you go to India today, they are progressing. They are making progress then. Giant strides. They are going to space and all this kind of stuff, building rockets and developing. AI-wise, they are booming. They are making it all over the world. They are dominating the world. And with all of this, they still keep their religion. They are Hindus. They still worship their gods. Same thing applies to the Chinese. At some point, they were being, ruled by the British. They tried to introduce a religion and their way of life. These guys resisted. They said, no, we can't let this happen. And today, when you go to China, they still practice their Buddhism, Shintoism, and all these kinds of religions. And see, they are making progress. But in Africa, it's the opposite. When they came to Africa, they came with religion. And we embraced religion and gave up the religions of our forefathers. And decided to accept and embrace a foreign religion. Even the Jews, I must shock you, the Jews themselves, with their religion, which they practice today called Judaism, they don't believe in Christianity. They don't believe in Jesus Christ. They don't believe that Jesus Christ is a Messiah. They don't believe that Jesus Christ is a Savior. They don't believe that He is a God. They don't know. Till today, they still practice Judaism, the religion of their forefathers, Abraham, David. You can mention them, Solomon. They were all Jews and they were practicing Judaism. They don't know who Jesus Christ is actually. But what is wrong with us Africans? We decided to embrace all of this, and give up the very root, the very foundation, the very knowledge, the root of knowledge that made us who we are, and embrace a foreign religion with no basis, with no foundation. A religion that only ended up ruling over us. And we think it's civilized. Look at them today, the Western world. They are giving up. Their young people are completely shying away from religion. They don't believe that Christianity is the way to anywhere. They don't even believe in heaven, Mike, for God's sake. Not to talk of you coming to talk about doctrines and all this kind of stuff and churches to them. Churches today, we only have the 90s, 80s, 70 years old men and women. All the young men, they are home chilling. A beautiful Christmas like this is, let me tell you, a typical case in Finland is that the families are at home. All the families are at home. They bought all the necessaries. They just sat down. They sit down in their houses and they eat together peacefully. And somehow they are going back, not only in Finland, but in the whole of Europe, they're going back to their own very foundation, their very root, their pagan roots, I must say. They are slowly shifting away Jesus Christ as being something to reckon with. They are slowly embracing the pagan way of going about things back then. For them, that is Christmas. They talk about Father Christmas. They don't talk about Jesus Christ. They talk about the reindeer and riding in a sledge, on the egg and the rabbit and all this kind of stuff. That's what they talk about these days. They're looking back at the folklore, the origin of how they came to be. No one talks about Jesus Christ or heaven and all this kind of stuff. So where has Africans gone wrong? What is the issue with us Africans? Is it ignorance? You know, when I came here many years back and I went to school, you know, I had to learn one thing. One thing they taught us in school is critical thinking. You don't do it because your parents are doing it, or because you grew up in a particular religion and your parents are telling you, oh, this is the way and this is how it is. And, you know, you're sort of scared of the people, you know, the society, the community, what are they going to say, and this kind of stuff. Yeah, you are being taught critical thinking. You have to think. When someone presents something to you, you use your own reasoning to judge for yourself. Is it correct or it's wrong? Not based on what others are telling you, but based on critical finding. You research to find out this is actually the case. You go back into history. You come up with some kind of comparison. And then judge for yourself whatever you want to choose for yourself and however you want to guide your life. That is what we're being taught there. Or like in Africa, where we just grow up to accept what our parents tell us and live by it. Of course, I'm not in any way saying that you should not believe in whatever you want to believe in, or be a Christian or whatever you want to practice. But I want to emphasize on the need to think. We must learn to think critically. I mean, not just ordinary thinking. Think critically. Judge for yourself. Find out for yourself. Is this actually the case? And then don't be afraid to speak out. Don't be afraid to voice out. Say it as it is. So that is how it is over here, and that is what I have for you guys. So do well to follow me, guys. We are going to be talking about things like this. You know, we're going to be discussing, sharing views and all this kind of stuff and points sent together. I remain your boy, Mr. Naja, baby. This is Achibong Ayo. So do well to subscribe to my channel. Stay loved and stay blessed and stay